My beloved child, I did not call you merely to exist. I called you to live abundantly. The enemy is more cunning than you think. It doesn't always come with claws and roars. Sometimes it comes as a sigh, as a heaviness that drags your every step. It doesn't always lead you to betray me. Sometimes it simply causes you to slow down, to delay, to make excuses. And you don't even realize that this too is captivity. I see you beginning to accept your wounds as though they were your identity. You start to agree with the whisper that says, maybe I'll never change. But that is not truth. It is a veil keeping you from realizing you are slowly dying while still breathing. The enemy doesn't need to kill you. It only needs to wear you down until you stop fighting. It did so with Elijah, the mighty prophet who once called fire from heaven and yet once sat under a broom tree and asked to die. Elijah once boldly confronted King Ahab, once stood alone against a nation of idolaters. But at just one threat from Queen Jezebel, he ran weary and begged for death. Do you see? Even the strongest can be buried under the weight of exhaustion. But I did not let Elijah perish in his weariness. I sent an angel to touch him as he slept beneath the tree. The angel did not accuse, did not condemn, only said, "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." I say the same to you today. Do not lie forever in despair. Do not slumber in helplessness. Arise and eat. Receive my word, the living bread from heaven. For your journey is not over. Your calling has not been revoked. What I placed in you still lives, even if you feel it has died. I can breathe life into dry bones. And if I can do that for a valley of death, do you think I cannot do it for you? You once were full of faith. You once heard me clearly, once burned with vision, once dared to walk though the path was unseen. But now something is eroding within your soul, little by little, day by day. It is a nameless weariness, a slow dripping pressure, dreams that have grown silent within you. Do you think I have not seen? I saw when you let go of the things that once set your heart ablaze. I saw when you stopped hoping, stopped asking for fear of being disappointed. You don't call it giving up, you call it being realistic. But that version of reality is not from me. My child, there are wounds that do not bleed, yet silently seep within your heart each day. They do not come from clear strikes, but from the soft voices that slipped in over the years. The enemy does not always destroy by making you scream sometimes. It simply silences you, makes you believe lies as though they were truth. And then without chains or prison walls, you become captive in your own mind. I have heard the words you've whispered over yourself. I'm not enough. I'm a failure. I'm unlovable. I'm afraid I'll never measure up. Those words did not come from me. So today I want to uncover 5 lies you've unknowingly embraced as part of your identity. 5 invisible chains that have weighed down your steps, causing you to live beneath the calling I placed within you. Not to shame you, but to bring you into the light of truth. For only when the truth shines in can you be truly free. Let me walk with you through each one like a father holding your hand, guiding you step by step back to your true self. My beloved, some voices do not speak aloud, but they hum within your soul like a familiar breath, so constant that you no longer know if they are truth or fiction. Words like, I'm not good enough, I will always fail, I'm a burden, these are not from me, but you have believed them as if they were gospel. And that misplaced belief has pushed you into an invisible cage, making you afraid to live as the one I created you to be. You walk through life with your head bowed, not because you are unworthy, but because you have forgotten you were formed by loving hands. I see you trying to hold it all together just to be accepted. You're weary from performing roles that were never meant for you. You act from fear of rejection, not from the true identity I engraved within you. You no longer dare to dream, no longer believe in goodness, afraid of being hurt again. But child, you are not the sum of what you've been through. You are my masterpiece. No matter how many names the world gives you, the name I gave you has never changed, beloved, chosen, redeemed. When you believe what is false, you begin to live as though it were true. I saw it from the beginning when Adam and Eve believed the lie that they lacked something they hid from me, even though I had never left them. You too are hiding under the shell the enemy constructed of shame, inferiority, and disappointment. But I did not call you to hide. I called you out of darkness into the light of my truth. You need only hear my voice again to know what is true and what is not. Let me remind you of this gently as a father speaks to his child. You are not what you feel in your weakest moments. You are not the sum of your latest failure. You are not the reflection of others' harsh opinions. You are the very reflection of my heart. I look at you and I see beauty, not because you are flawless, but because you carry the breath of life I gave you. My child, I see your heart weighed down with things you haven't dared speak aloud, your failures, your regrets, the moments you wish had never happened. I see the look in your eyes when you bow your head afraid someone might see the real you. But shame does not come from me. It is a silent chain slowly cutting into your soul, making you believe it's not just what you did that was wrong, but that you yourself are wrong. And that is the greatest lie darkness has ever sown into the hearts of my beloved ones. You think that if people knew the real you, they would walk away. You believe that unless you are strong, successful, and right, you have no value. So you built a shell trying to look okay, to smile wide, to cover your wounds. But in the deepest places of your heart, you are still afraid. Afraid that you are a disappointment, not just to others, but to me. But child, I have never been disappointed in you. I knew you even before your form was complete in your mother's womb, and I still called you good. Shame drove you to hide from me, just as Adam and Eve did after they sinned. But I did not step back. I drew closer. When they hid behind the trees, I called out, "Where are you?" not because I didn't know, but because I wanted them to know I was still seeking them. And today I call you out of hiding. You don't have to cover your face. I have seen it all, and I still love you. There is nothing in you that surprises me. No wound I cannot touch with. My mercy. My dear one, failure does not define your essence. One mistake does not ruin an entire life. What matters more than what you did is what you choose after. Even if you've stumbled, I have not withdrawn my promise. Even if you've turned away, I have not turned my face. Even if you've let go, I am still holding your hand. In Christ, there is no condemnation for you. You no longer have to live under the shadow of shame. You are free in the light. Child, I see your heart closing every time love is mentioned. Not because you don't want love, but because deep down you fear. If they knew who I really was, they would leave. You've believed that love is a reward for those who are good enough, strong enough, perfect enough. And since you see yourself as lacking, you assume you are unworthy of love. You don't reject love because you don't need it. You reject it because you think you don't have the right to receive it. But oh, love doesn't come from perfection, it comes from me. You carry the memories of being abandoned, of harsh words, of indifferent stares, and from that you formed a false truth: I am not lovable. That voice echoes through the years, quiet but powerful, until it becomes part of how you see yourself. You begin to doubt even those who genuinely care. You push them away not because you don't love them, but because you believe it's only a matter of time before they leave. You freeze your own heart before anyone else has the chance to. But my child, that is not how I love. I love you not because of what you achieve, but because of who you are. My love doesn't come after you change, repent, or improve. It comes first. And that love has the power to transform you. I don't love you because you are worthy. I love you so that you will know your worth. Even when you loathe yourself, I love you. Even when you can't bear to look at who you are, I look at you with tender eyes. There is nothing in you that can make me love you less, and nothing you must do to make me love you more, my beloved child. If love is something you must earn to receive, then it is not true love. The love I give is unconditional. It is not withdrawn when you are weak, nor does it diminish when you fail. This love has been sealed with the very blood of my only Son. When Christ stretched out his arms upon the cross, he did not ask whether you were worthy. He simply said, "It is finished." That love stands as a testimony that you are not forgotten. You are remembered, pursued, and redeemed, not by your strength, but by my mercy, my child. I see your trembling steps each time you face the unknown. I see your heart race, then hesitate even when the door before you swings open. Fear does not always scream. Sometimes it whispers, "Don't go, you will fail. No one will be there," and you believe it. You mistake hesitation for caution, but truly, it is paralysis. Not because you are weak, but because fear has claimed the seat meant for faith. My beloved, fear does not always come in terrifying images or obvious dangers. Often it comes as a gentle, persistent undercurrent. You're not good enough, you'll never make it. If you step forward, you'll lose everything. It locks you in small, safe spaces even though your soul longs for something greater. It keeps you from the opportunities I've opened. It delays the call I've already spoken, all because you want certainty for every step. But child, walking by faith does not require seeing the whole path, only knowing that I am holding your hand. I have never given you a spirit of fear. That is not a gift from heaven. I have given you a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Fear causes you to shrink back, but my love lifts you up. Fear tells you to stay in control, but my love says you can trust me. You do not need to map out every path, just follow my voice. Every step taken in me is a secure step even when you see nothing ahead. My child, fear doesn't only paralyze your actions, it stifles your soul. It makes you doubt even what I placed within you. You grow numb to your own dreams, indifferent to my promises, and accustomed to a life of resignation. But I did not create you to merely survive the days. I made you to live with purpose, with power, and with my guidance. When you believe fear, you forget that I am the author of your story, and in that story you do not perish halfway, you triumph in me. So today I invite you to look again at the one who called you. Not so that you become great in your own strength, but that you become strong in my presence. When you tremble, run to me. When you are unsure, hold fast to my promises. When fear arises, remember, my love is perfect, and perfect love casts out all fear. Fear has no right to reign in your heart. You were created to live in freedom, and I who walk with you always am your peace. My child, I know there are moments when you look around and wonder, why am I not like them? You see others more successful, more beautiful, more confident, and you begin to question your own worth. I see your eyes follow others not to learn, but to silently measure yourself by standards that were never meant for you. Comparison seeps in like smoke, silent but strong enough to blur what I have placed within you. And slowly you forget who you are, your own voice, your own light, your own path. But child, difference is not a mistake. It is my signature on you. When you compare, you stop living as a unique masterpiece and start mimicking others as a mere copy. You envy the brightness beside you, unaware that you too carry a distinct light. You feel small when others are celebrated, forgetting that I rejoice over you with every faithful step. My child, every one of my children carries an irreplaceable piece of the eternal tapestry. If you try to become someone else, that masterpiece loses the color only you can bring. You were not made to be a replica, you were made to be you. Remember this, child. Others may run faster, but you may go farther. Others may shine today, but you will bear fruit in due season. I do not measure your worth by speed or spotlight, but by faithfulness and heart. Sometimes I hide you from the eyes of the world, not because you are unimportant, but because I am forming something more sacred within. And at the right time I will bring you forth not as a faded imitation, but as a radiant expression of my love and creativity. My beloved, when you lose your essence through comparison, you also lose your joy. You feel forever behind, always chasing what was never meant for you, weary from a journey not bearing your name. But I did not design you for exhaustion. I designed you to walk in peace, to know who you are, and to stand firm in what I have entrusted to you. You don't need to resemble anyone else. You only need to reflect the you I intentionally, flawlessly, and lovingly designed. What I see in you, no one else can replace. So today, my child, I invite you to lift your eyes, not to look at others, but to look at me. Look into the face of the one who formed you with loving hands and eyes full of hope. Lay down the lens of comparison. Embrace your own light. I rejoice not because you resemble someone else, but because you are fully yourself in my goodwill. Among billions of souls, I chose you to carry a sound all your own, and the world needs to hear it, my beloved child. Since the day you opened your eyes to this world, countless voices have vied to become the truth within you. They came relentlessly from careless words of loved ones, from the eyes of comparison among friends, from the mocking laughter of crowds, from moments of failure, from defeats you carry like a sentence. These voices became a mask you mistook as your identity. You began to live as if you were small, meaningless, unworthy. You became used to bowing your head, staying silent, blending into the crowd, not because you had nothing to say, but because you believed you had nothing worth hearing. But child, that is not who you are. That is a shadow the darkness crafted over time, built quietly across the days you didn't notice. It stole your true voice. It changed how you see yourself. You no longer look at yourself with love, but with doubt, judgment, and fear. You live as though you must become someone else to be loved, accepted, or kept. But my dear one, I have never asked that of you. I do not need you to become a perfect version by the world's standards. I only long for you to return to your true self, the self I molded from eternal breath, from unconditional love, from an undying light. You have lived too long in the dark room built by your own fear. Fear that no one understands you. Fear of being hurt again. Fear that if you open your heart, you will be abandoned once more. So you chose silence, retreat, and named it peace. But deep inside, you know it is only resignation. That is not the life I destined for you. That is only the shadow of life. And I did not create you to live in shadows. I created you to walk in light. I have heard the words you never dared to speak aloud. I have seen the tears that fell in rooms where no one else was but me and you. The dreams you once carried with youthful passion, now hidden, covered in dust by disappointment. I do not rebuke you for that. I do not grieve over your collapse. On the contrary, I rejoice that today you are still brave enough to listen to me. I rejoice that you still carry a flicker of longing, however small, to live as your true self. That is the seed of hope, and I will water it with my word. You are not your past mistakes. Your missteps on the journey cannot cancel the destiny I placed within you. The wounds you bear on body and soul do not make you unlovely in my sight. They are proof that you have fought, endured, and not given up. You are a warrior not because you always win, but because you rise after each fall. And that, my child, is what makes me proud. You are still mine, whole in value, radiant in my gaze, precious not for what you do, but for who you are. The world looks at the surface, success, titles, praise, beauty, talent. But I look at your heart. I see faithfulness in the small things. I see kindness when no one is watching. I see you forgive when you had every reason to be bitter. I see you love without being loved in return. I see you sow in silence. And I say to you, these things are never in vain. They are the evidence that my image is still alive in you. You once thought that not being like them made you less valuable. But you never knew I never wanted you to be like anyone else. I did not copy you from a pattern. I created you from my unique design. You carry a sound, a light, an influence that no one else can replicate. If you remain silent, the world will miss a melody meant to be heard. If you withdraw, that light will not shine in the places only you were meant to reach. Now I am stripping away each layer you have wrapped around yourself. No longer shall you be called failure, extra broken, or unworthy. I place upon you the robe of glory. I crown your head with the crown of life. I cleanse you not only with water, but with unfading love. Every sigh from your soul I receive. Every fracture within you I am the healer. I have not come to create another version of you. I have come to awaken the true you, the original, sacred, divine you. I see the light in your eyes you have forgotten. I see the fire in your heart the world tried to extinguish. I see my image reflected in you, not dimmed, not distorted, but whole and radiant. You are a reflection of the Creator. Nothing about you is accidental. No detail is meaningless. Every part of your being is the crystallization of love, of holy intention, of eternal design. You belong to me, and what belongs to me can never be lost. I do not forget. I do not abandon. I do not change my mind when you are weak. On the contrary, it is in your weakest moments that I draw nearest. I do not correct you with an iron rod. I lift you with gentle arms. I do not push you away. I open wide my embrace to welcome you home. Everything you once believed separated you from me. Shame, fear, doubt, failure, none of these are barriers. They are invitations for me to reveal my love more deeply. So today, my child, let go of the burdens that were never yours. Release the false voices that have deceived you for too long. Stop seeing yourself through the eyes of men and look up. Look at me. Listen to my voice. Reclaim your identity, born not of prejudice but of grace. You are not a mistake, you are a miracle. Not almost enough, but complete in me. And if you ask, how can I live differently when I have believed wrongly for so long? I say, not by your own strength, but by my spirit. I will renew your mind. I will heal your memories. I will lift you from the mire of inferiority and shame and place your feet upon the solid rock. You will walk again, not as one fleeing the darkness, but as one carrying the light. For you are no longer who the world says you are who I have called you to be, and that name no one can take from you. My child, be still and listen, for I speak with all the tenderness and power of a father who never forgets his beloved. Before you had a name, before your first cry, I knew you. Not just your form, but the intricate vibrations of your soul, the unspoken desires, the yearnings you don't yet understand, the pains you cannot voice to anyone. Every breath you take is never forgotten by me. You are not a coincidence. You are intention, a holy purpose, a melody woven from the heartbeat of heaven itself. You once believed you were just a small person drifting through life like a leaf swept away by a rushing river, but I say to you, no, my child. You are not adrift, you are led. Not one of your steps is random, not a moment of your life is wasted. What seemed meaningless those times, you thought I was silent. Each was composing a deeper symphony, one that can only be heard in eternity. There are parts of you even you have never seen, but I have always kept safe. For I know what I placed within you. Have you compared yourself to others, concluding you are but a flawed draft? Have you gazed at another's brilliance and cast yourself as a faint extra in life's play? But you do not understand. No one carries the soul print that you bear. No one can sing the song I have written just for you. No one sees the world with the eyes I shaped for you alone. You are the singular tone in the symphony of the cosmos. And if you do not sing, the melody will forever lack a sacred note. Do you think I dwell in thunder in lofty holy places among the powerful and triumphant? No, my beloved. I choose to dwell within you where I see the tears you don't let fall, the questions you dare not voice, the silent places you hide beneath a strange smile. I am not afraid of your darkness, for I am light. I am not repelled by your wounds, for I am the healer. I do not turn away when you are weak, for I am your strength. You are not merely one who carries my spirit, you are the very dwelling place where my spirit reveals himself. I walk this earth through you. Every touch of your hand, every word you speak, every small act done in love carries the pulse of heaven. You are the path through which I soften hearts, the comfort I send to the hopeless, the light I shine where others see only despair. When you forgive, you bring heaven to earth. When you are patient, you build eternity in the midst of the temporary. When you love unconditionally, you reflect my heart. My child, it is time to lift your head, not in pride, but in remembrance that your brow has been anointed. Your hands have been held by mine, and I have said, you are mine. You are not a wandering soul seeking a place to belong. You are a citizen of heaven, temporarily dwelling in a foreign land. It is because you carry something eternal that this world can never satisfy you. It is because you belong to eternity that fleeting values cannot fill you. Do not fear your difference, it is proof that you come from me. You have felt broken, but let me say this, the cracks do not make you useless, they make you real. I do not use you despite your brokenness. I use your very brokenness to let my light shine through. Like clay in the potter's hand, I do not discard what is cracked. I reshape it with your tears, with your humility, with your silent returns. Then I fire it in the furnace of my love until it is both strong and tender, and I fill it with my spirit so that life may flow from within you. Every longing you've ever had for truth, for justice, for beauty, for love is not a random product of a chaotic life. It is the echo of a sacred memory where your soul once sang with me before the world was formed. It is the covenant imprinted in the stars where the heavens knew your name, where the wind knew your laughter, where the ocean once reflected your gaze say this to romanticize you, but to remind you your essence is divine. Time cannot consume you, for you are not bound by time. You were sent to transform it. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a messenger in the midst of the world. I have encoded within you an answer, a doorway, a living hope. And this world will be touched not through grand gestures, but by the authenticity of your presence. You do not need to perform wonders to please me. You only need to remain in me. For when you are in me, you are truly yourself, and that is enough. So today, my beloved, rise. Do not abandon your identity simply because the world has not seen what I see in you. Do not step back because the darkness threatens. The light within you is stronger than all that surrounds you. Do not be silent when you carry my voice. Do not bow your head when I have crowned you with glory. Live as if you remember where you come from and where you will return. For once you understand that nothing in this life can keep you in the prison of lies any longer. You were not created to merely survive, you were created to radiate glory. Not in the eyes of men, but in the brilliance of truth, of love, of light, of me. And where I am, there is life. Where you are, there I long to dwell. Remember this always. You are mine, and I never, not for a single moment, forget you. Not now and not ever. Now that truth has illuminated your soul, I invite you to step out of every mold that once confined it. For years you've lived as if you were only a fragment, a forgotten part, not important enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough to stand tall and live fully. You have worn lies like armor, but in truth they were only golden chains, shiny outside but rusted within. I never designed you to live constrained by the image others gave you. I formed you by my word, by my breath, by my heart, and what I create is never in vain. Each time you bowed your head under accusation, each time you looked in the mirror and saw only failure, my heart ached. Not because you were weak, but because you believed something that did not come from me. The enemy has whispered into your soul like slow dripping rain that you are unworthy of love, that you must always carry your burden, that there is nothing in you worth keeping. But today I declare those words no longer have power over you. I have come to break every layer of prejudice, every mask you've had to wear, every invisible shackle you've quietly endured. I did not come to fix a distorted version. I came to restore your original essence, long hidden under the dust of life and the lies of this world. You may have lived like a shadow, but in me you are the true form. You may have been a bystander in your own story, but I am writing a new chapter where you are no longer the victim, but the one sent, the one anointed, the one bearing light. You no longer have to shrink within the crowd, afraid to be seen. I have seen you from the beginning. When you were still an unformed being in your mother's womb, I called you by name, and I wove the most delicate threads of your soul with heavenly joy. No mistake can strip that away. No wound can erase the dignity I have etched into your being. There was a time you thought I could only love a better version of you, a different you, cleaner, stronger, more righteous, but I loved you when you were weak. I held you when you were lost. I wiped your tears when you thought no one cared. I don't love you if you change. I love you even though you fall. My love doesn't come with conditions, it carries within it the power to heal. This is not the love of the world. This is a love from eternity, beyond all reasons, beyond merit, beyond failure. And now I am gently knocking on the door of your heart, not to condemn, but to invite you out of the silence of shame, out of the cage of guilt, out of the rut of self-doubt. Step into the land I have prepared, a place where you no longer have to pretend, where you don't need to strive to be accepted, where you are called by your true name, beloved. There you don't merely exist, you live. Not just live, but live abundantly. Not just in abundance, but overflowing, carrying life to those who, like you once did, have lost their way. My child, let me remind you of this. There is no such thing as too late in my eternal purpose. You haven't missed anything, for I hold time in my hands. I can redeem the years you thought were lost. I can turn the broken into beauty. I can make your tears a river that revives parched souls. Nothing in you is useless. Even pain, when placed in my hands, becomes a tool to heal others. I waste nothing, and I most certainly will never abandon you. Yes, there is something greater in you than you've ever dared to believe. Seeds I planted in your heart long before you knew how to name hope. They've been silent, forgotten, seemingly dead, but they were only waiting for the rain of my spirit. And now that rain is coming. I am awakening what has been asleep in you, a voice that lifts hands, that heal eyes, that breathe life, and a heart wide enough to embrace broken souls. You don't need to strive to fly. The wings are already there within your soul. They've just never been opened because you didn't know you could, but I knew. I saw you flying in my thoughts before you ever learned to stand. I do not see you through the lens of failure or success. I see you with the eyes of a father who never stops hoping, never stops loving, never stops believing in the goodness I placed inside you. So rise, my child, in freedom. Not the shallow freedom the world offers, but the deep, kind freedom from accusation, from shame, from comparison, from fear and unworthiness. Rise like the dawn after darkness. Rise not because you are strong, but because I am faithful. Rise not because you know all things, but because you know I am with you. Rise not to prove anything, but to become everything I created you to be. You are mine. No one can snatch you from my hand. Nothing in your past can change my mind about you. No moment of wandering can make me give up on you. I am your father, and I want you to know this not only in your mind, but with your entire soul. I am closer than your breath, gentler than any comfort, firmer than any foundation you've ever known. You don't need to keep running. You don't need to keep hiding. You don't need to keep striving. Rest. Breathe in me. Stay, for this is home, my beloved child. Do not wait until everything in you is set right, until every habit is fixed, every wound healed before you dare believe you are loved. Don't wait until your face no longer shows traces of tears or guilt before you believe you are worthy to stand before me. I don't wait for a perfect version of you to give you. My love, I love you when you're still messy, when your heart is confused, when your steps are misdirected. It's in those very moments when you feel weakest and most unworthy that my love shines the brightest. Worthiness is not a destination you must earn. It's not a prize for the most virtuous, the most holy, or the least flawed. Worthiness is your birthright, etched into your soul before your first cry, because you are mine. Not because you proved anything, but simply because you belong to me. I have clothed you in the righteousness of my Son, not to cover up, but to proclaim you are the chosen. I have washed you in the fountain of grace. No stain remains that can keep you from me. No accusation can stand when I look at you through the work of Christ. I have engraved your name on the palm of my hand. I have placed my spirit within you, a sacred seal, that you are forever mine. There is nothing you need to do to be more loved, and nothing you've ever done can make me love you less. My love is not swayed by your performance. It stands firm, unchanging, eternal. So, my dear child, don't wait for your feelings to align before you believe this truth. Feelings rise and fall like waves, but my word is the rock that does not move. Believe not because you feel it, but because I have spoken it. Receive my love the way dry land receives the early rain. Let the questions grow quiet and simply open your heart. My love does not need to be dissected, it only needs to be received. Like a child trusts the words of their father, you don't need to understand everything to live in the truth of it. You are loved. Not superficially, not conditionally, but with a love that burns away all doubt, pierces every fear, and melts every hardness. A love so complete it leaves no space for shame or self-contempt. A love so eternal it knows no expiration, no change of heart, no turning away. Others may have rejected you, but in me you are always accepted. Others may have left you behind in their stories, but in mine you are the center. You are complete. Not because you've achieved something extraordinary, but because you carry the extraordinary within you, the breath of my very spirit. You bear the mark of heaven not as a symbol, but as reality. When I created you, I breathed into your soul a spark of eternity. There is nothing ordinary about you. Every detail, your voice, your gaze, the way you perceive the world reflects my careful and intentional design. You are holy not because you've never strayed, but because I have set you apart for an eternal purpose. I chose you to carry light, to bring love to barren places, to heal where there's pain, to represent me in this world. No one else carries the voice you carry. No one else can reach the hearts you are sent to. No one else can reflect me the way only you can. You You are one of a kind, and I delight in that, so do not belittle yourself. Don't brush off blessings or compliments as if they don't belong to you. Learn to receive without shrinking. Open your hands and accept my love as your way of being, because truly it is. You weren't made merely to exist. You were made to live gloriously, radiantly, and full of grace. You weren't born to hide from life. You were born to walk in my presence, carrying hope into a world running dry. And when you feel weak, when doubt comes knocking, when old voices rise within, remember this: you are the beloved. Not sometimes, but always. Not only when you get it right, but even when you fall. Not only when you're strong, but even when you break. My love doesn't come and go, it comes to stay. It is the deepest truth you can carry through this life. Walk in that love, my child. And with every step you take, life will overflow. With every word you speak, light will spread. Every glance, every touch, every act will carry the breath of heaven. Not because you are perfect, but because you believed. And when you believe, I will do the rest. You will be made whole, not by effort, but by love. Not by striving, but by grace. Not because you did it all right, but because you came home. My child, you may not realize it, but within you is a quiet blaze, a flame from eternity I lit from the beginning. That flame has never gone out, though it may be buried under the dust of time, the lies of the world, or the weight of seeming failures. It is the part of you that longs for something deeper, higher, truer. It is the whisper that reminds you you don't belong to darkness, that you weren't born to blend into chaos, but to bring order, light, and hope. There are gaps in this world because you were born to fill them. You've wondered why you are so sensitive to injustice, why your heart aches when others are hurting, why you cannot rest in the presence of lies, oppression, or meaninglessness. My child, it's because you were woven with threads of heaven. You feel this world is not as it should be because deep in your soul is a sacred memory of a better world, the world I intended from the beginning. You are not a stranger struggling to find your place. You are a messenger, sent forth carrying a message, a mission, a role no one else can fulfill. But you wonder, I am so small, how could I ever do something so great? And I answer without hesitation, not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. It is not because you are better, stronger, or more perfect than others. It is because I have chosen you. And when I choose, I also equip. The transformation you bring into this world does not come from grandeur, but from the way you love, the way you forgive when others hurt you, the way you open your heart when the world shuts down, the way you walk in the light even when surrounded by darkness. That is power, the kind that flows from surrender, from a trusting heart, from my spirit alive within you. Rest, my child, not a passive stopping, but a pause to be restored. Remain in me like a branch in the vine, not striving, not straining, just abiding, and from that place life will flow. You do not need to chase quick fruit, for I am deepening your roots. Roots are unseen, but they nourish everything. When you see no result, do not be discouraged. I am working in the soil of your soul, in silence, in patience, in unchanging love. I have hidden within you treasures no one has yet touched, seeds of wisdom, of compassion, of divine creativity. There are songs that only you can write. There is healing that can only flow through you. There are ideas I have wrapped inside you, waiting for the day you trust enough to open them. Everything you need to complete this journey is not out there, it is already within you. Don't rush to force it to bloom. As you walk in me, as you remain in my light, each thing will unfold in its season like flowers in due time. No need to hurry, no need to compare, no need to fear. Oh, my child, remember, greatness does not begin with an echo, but with a heartbeat of obedience, a willing heart, a faithful step. When you sit beside the broken and listen without judgment, you are healing the world. When you rise to defend justice for the vulnerable, you are rewriting a part of history with love. When you forgive, you are breaking generational chains. When you speak truth, even trembling, you are pushing back the darkness in one small corner of this world. And all these things you do not do alone. I am in you. I did not create you to abandon you. I did not give you fire to keep it hidden. I did not place vision within you to leave you confused. I am here not only as guide, but as companion. Not only as inspiration, but as strength. Not only as promise maker, but but as the one who holds your hand through each step of the process. And when you are weak, I do not despise you. When you are weary, I do not hurry you. When you feel like giving up, I will remind you why I chose you in the first place. Trust this journey, my beloved, even when it looks different from what you imagined, even when it is not easy. But I promise you it will not be meaningless. I do not ask you to carry the burden alone. I will be the strength in your tired knees, the song in your hollow heart, the peace in your whirlwind. And each step you take in obedience, every choice you make in faith, however small, opens the way for my light to enter the world. This world does not need more perfect people. It needs people who know to whom they belong. And you are one of them, a bearer of light, created for glory, sent to heal, not by your own strength, but by my Spirit, the one who lives and moves within you. So keep walking, my child. The flowers will bloom. The harvest will come. My glory will be revealed through you in perfect time. And I, who began it all, will also bring it to completion in you. My dearest child, I know your heart carries weary days when you still have to keep going, sleepless nights, turning over questions you can't name. I hear it all. I have been there, not far away, but very close, right in the hidden spaces no one sees. You ask, if I truly belong to you, if your spirit is alive in me, why do I still feel so heavy, so empty, so lost in the current of life? You think you must have done something wrong. But my child, that lostness is not proof that you are lost. It is a sign that you are yearning for the eternal. It is heaven's echo within you, calling you back to the original, the true, the everlasting. You carry sorrow not because you are weak, but because your heart is tender enough to feel the brokenness of this world. You are not numb, and that is a sign of life. It is my Spirit within you, groaning, pleading, longing for restoration. Sometimes you do not understand why your sadness runs so deep, why you grieve things that seem unrelated, but that too is the inner call, the call to something greater, deeper, beyond understanding. And I say that pain is holy. It is not a burden to cast off, but a lamp that guides you deeper into my heart. You once thought your radiance would arrive on the day you felt nothing, had no more weakness, no more struggle. But light does not come when you are perfect. Light shines brightest when darkness is thickest. You do not need to wait until all fear is gone to rise. It is in your trembling that I will lift you. It is when you feel empty that I can fill you. Glory is not in your lack of pain, but in your choice to trust me in the midst of it. Your beauty is not in the absence of cracks, but in my hand, making new what you thought was shattered. Oh child, faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is when you still come near, still speak with me, still rest your head on my shoulder, even while your heart holds questions. You are living in faith already, even when you feel unworthy. You are walking in light already, even if your steps tremble. Because what makes you mine is not your emotion, but your daily choice. The choice to stay, to listen to, open to, not turn away. You do not need to pretend to be strong. I did not come looking for the steady. I came to steady those on the verge of breaking. I know you're tired, and I do not deny it. But I invite you to release the kind of striving you've always known and learn to rest in me. Not laziness, but surrender. Not apathy, but trust. You don't need to understand everything to move forward. You only need to know that I am unchanging. You don't need every answer. You only need to know that I still call your name among millions of souls. And that call is never weary, never changing, never silenced by your confusion. You ask, why do I still carry burdens if you have taken them? And I say, because you have not yet learned to lay them down. I do not take what you do not offer. I do not invade the sanctuary of your soul. I wait for you to open the door. I could do wonders in a moment, but what I treasure most is the journey you walk with me, layer by layer, season by season. Because in that very process you will come to truly know me, not just as Almighty God, but as loving Father, as faithful friend, as shelter that cannot be shaken. My beloved, your fragility is the soil where my glory takes root. Do not despise the confusing days they are when the deepest seeds are quietly breaking open. Do not fear the thirst, it is the sign you were made to drink from the true source of life. Do not be ashamed of the questions, they are what keep you close to me. Do not be surprised when you feel like a desert. For in the desert I have made springs flow fed, my people with manna, and spoken my most intimate words in the stillness. So today I do not come to demand instant change, but to sit beside you in your journey. I do not rush you, I do not scold. I hold your hand and I will not let go. I did not wait until you measured up to step into your life. I have been there all along, and I will always be. Through your seasons of confusion, through the days you simply look up in silence, I still call your name in the gentlest voice. My child, I am still here. You are a miracle being shaped day by day. You are a lamp that has never been extinguished, only shielded, waiting for the moment to burst into brilliance. You are the dwelling I have chosen for myself. And you don't need to make it perfect, you only need to open the door. Don't wait until you're better. Let me enter the messiest place. It is there that I will perform miracles. It is there that my grace will pour down like rain on parched ground. It is there where you thought it ended that I will begin. My child, your weakness does not diminish your worth. Your questions do not push you away from me. Your failures do not stop me from calling your name. Every emotion, every doubt, every inner struggle, all are invitations for me to draw closer. And in the deepest place of your weariness, I am writing a new chapter. A chapter that doesn't begin with perfection, but with a whisper. I still love you. I still choose you. And I will not give you up. Beloved, you have carried burdens for far too long that were never meant for you. I see you holding unspoken sorrows, quiet griefs that no one else notices. They may not seem large enough for others to perceive, but they are too heavy for your soul to find true rest. You've grown so accustomed to them that you've mistaken them as part of who you are. But no, my child, you've carried things I never placed on your shoulders. You've bowed under the weight of sins I've already forgiven, under condemnations I never declared, under standards I never set. Some things crept into your heart like thieves in the night, quiet but ruthless. The voices that told you you're invisible, not enough a burden to others. The looks from others or your own reflection judged not with love but with disappointment. Slowly you began to believe, maybe this is who I truly am. And once you believed it, you lived as though it were truth. No need for iron chains. The false thoughts became a prison whose door you locked with your own hands. But I have come to break those chains, not with thunder, not with force, but with tender truth and words of love. I have not come to add to your burdens, I've come to lift them. Everything I name today is not to condemn, but to redeem. There is no true healing while darkness hides. So I bring it to light, not to shame you, but so my light can shine in, so you can see that what you thought was your nature was merely dust on the gem I myself have carved and formed by hand. I know there are times you wonder why you are so easily wounded, why you believe the worst about yourself more quickly than the good, why a single word can bring you to your knees. And I say to you, because your roots are not grounded in me. You've anchored your soul in the words of others, in achievements, in expectations, and those things always shift, they are fragile. When they fall apart, you think you've shattered too. But my child, you were not made from those broken pieces. You came from me, and in me there is no ruin, only wholeness. Now let me place my hand on every dry place within your soul, the ones you've buried away thinking I wouldn't want to see. But my child, I have seen them all from the beginning. Not a single tear has fallen from your eyes that I haven't gathered in my sleeve. Not a sigh has escaped your lips that I haven't silently heard. I was there when others turned away. I remained when even you rejected yourself. I have waited patiently, not because you are to be blamed, but because you are too precious for me to leave behind. Now I call you to step out of the shadows. I name each thing not to reopen wounds, but to heal them at the root. That fear at once silenced your voice. That shame it made you run from your own heart. That comparison it led you down paths never meant for you. Those false labels, they caused you to live like a beggar of love when I've already given you the right to be royalty. And that unworthiness, it made you retreat from love, while my arms have always remained open. My child, I say to you, it is time to stop. Not to surrender in defeat, but to surrender to truth. Not to fall down in despair, but to bow before what is real. You no longer have to fight in confusion. truth will shine and truth will set you free. It's time to release the familiar but false voices. Let my voice be the loudest one in your heart. I have never said you are a failure. I say you are more than a conqueror in Christ. I have never said you are not enough. I say, my grace is sufficient for you. I did not come to you with judgment. I came with the blood of forgiveness. I do not drown you in the past. I lift you with promises for the future. You are not a victim of fate. You are the chosen among many. Not because you earned it, but because I love you, and my love does not waver. It is not altered by behavior, seasons, or fleeting emotion. It is steady, strong, eternal, and it has had your name written in it since the dawn of time. My love, every burden you carry today, give it to me. Every mask you wear, take it off in the safety of my presence. Every lie you've believed, let me replace it with truth. You no longer need to run from yourself. I'm not waiting for you to become better. I love you now just as you are, and I love you too much to leave you there. I will take you further, higher, deeper, into the journey of healing, rebuilding, and living a life that is truly alive. Hear this and hold it in your heart. You are mine, not temporarily, not conditionally. Not only when you get it right, but forever. And I never call what belongs to me by another name. I call you precious, forgiven, restored. There is no night so dark that my light cannot reach. And if you're hearing this now, it is because I am drawing near, not to judge, but to embrace you, to set you free, and to remind you once more, you are my child, and that is eternal truth. My beloved child, pause for a moment. Amidst all that rush you've come to call life. Set down those hands so busy grasping schedules, expectations, and tasks to complete. Take a deep breath and let your soul be still. Because in that stillness I am whispering not through thunder, not through mighty winds, but through the gentle breath of eternal love. I know you're still there even if you've drifted far from the first call. I see you even among countless distractions. I still wait for you, not impatiently, not with pressure, but with the quiet persistence of a father hand over his heart, holding space for a wandering child's return. I am not like man, I do not change with seasons, do not love with conditions, do not walk away when you are no longer who you used to be. My love demands no proof, it flows from who I am, and I am love. You don't need to strive for it, beg for it, barter for it. I give it freely and I never regret that gift. Even if you cannot yet see yourself as worthy, I already see you as priceless. And I do not love you someday when you are better. I love you now in your scarred form in the state you call not ready. You've grown so used to measuring your worth by performance, by praise, by achievements you can count. But my child, all of that is fleeting. One day it will fade, but what I have placed within you is eternal. No one can steal your value because it was not granted by people but by the one who never changes. I breathed life into you. I looked at you and called you good. And what I call good, no one has the authority to call worthless. Even now, wearing the tattered garments of shame, exhaustion, disappointment, I still see a crown upon your head that no one can take away. You cannot see it, but I have never removed it. That crown is the symbol of your place in me, an heir of royal lineage, a recipient of eternal life. I call forth the royalty asleep within you, the noble part buried by pain and the ordinary. I place my hand upon it and declare awaken. But my child, I know there are so many voices trying to drown out mine. The hum of ever-lit screens, the rush of meetings, the pull of unmet expectations, the undercurrent of comparison like waves that never cease dragging you far from peace. You run from task to task, from place to place, always busy, always hurried, always tired. In all this doing, you've forgotten how to simply be, to be yourself, unedited, unstriving, unproven, to be my child, to sit beside me without needing to say a word, just to be present. You did not intentionally turn your back on me, I know that, but the whirlwinds of modern life, the thirst for recognition, gently pulled you away from the starting place. You did not abandon me, you simply began to forget. And in that forgetting, you also lost part of yourself. I am not angry with you for this, but I long to see you return to the most simple and radiant truth that you are. My child, that you are loved, that your soul carries the breath of heaven, You have drifted from silence. There was a time when you heard my voice so clearly in the dew-drenched mornings, in those sleepless nights when it was just you and me. But now that voice has faded amidst the noise of life. You have forgotten how to listen. Not just to me, but to your own heart, where I once etched the first visions, the sacred invitations, the dreams untouched by the wear of the world. Do you remember that day? The day when just a beam of sunlight could make you tremble because you sensed my nearness. The day you prayed, not out of duty, but because your heart longed to be with me. The day you willingly let go of small things, just to keep my presence close. I remember those days. I remember every bowed head, every sigh in pursuit, every time you said I need nothing else but you. And do you know I have never forgotten? My beloved, I do not call you back to scold or punish you. I call you back to embrace you, to remind you that even when you forget everything else, one thing remains unchanging. You belong to me. Not because you always get it right, but because my love is unbreakable. You may lose your way, but you have never lost your worth. You may lose faith in yourself, but I have never lost faith in you. And I am still waiting in the quiet, in the dawn, in the gentle breeze, waiting for you to pause and remember you are still loved, still chosen, still called by a name above all names. Return not out of guilt, but out of longing. Come close to me, not to atone, but to rest. You do not need to do anything more. Just sit with me and let me tell you again who you truly are. Not the version shaped by work or failure, but you, the bearer of light, the carrier of a divine imprint, the one not made to fade but to shine brightly in this weary world. My beloved child, I now gently call you out of the relentless storms of life, out of the noise, the chaos, and the nameless weariness pressing down on your mind. This world has made you believe that meaning is found only in motion, only in tireless striving, only in the shouts of success. But oh child, I am not in the frenzy. I do not dwell in outward brilliance. I am in the hidden place, the deep place, the place where you lay down every burden, and it is only you and me. Not in the earthquake, not in the raging fire, not in the whirlwind will you find me, but in the moment you become still. When you sit down, not to chase anything, but simply to be, that is when you will hear my gentle whisper. A voice that does not compete with the noise, that does not overpower your unrest, but quietly waits for you to still your soul. When you breathe deeply, not to control, but to release. When you turn toward me, not with eyes of logic, but with a broken heart longing to be healed, it is then you will see that I never left. I have always been there, in the silent space between your sobs, in those moments when you looked at the sky and didn't know what to pray, in the times you were too weary for words and only a sigh escaped. I sat beside you, placed my hand on your shoulder, and listened to every ache you could not name. But the noise of life and the fear inside you blurred my presence. I am not angry about that. I am just waiting until you are ready to return, not to explain, not to perform, simply to be quiet with me. And when you enter that stillness, you will begin to hear a voice you thought was lost, the sacred memory of your true self. But alas, a thief came, and it did not steal your possessions, it stole something far more precious, the holy memory of your worth and belovedness. That thief was wounding. It did not knock. It stormed in through lost betrayal, abuse, shame, and pain too deep for words. It did not just hurt you, it made you forget who you are. I saw it all. Every cruel word that someone spoke and you quietly etched into your soul as though it defined you. I saw when you were left behind and you began to believe you weren't worth keeping. I saw when you were used like a tool and discarded and you questioned the very idea of love. I was not distant. I stepped into the pain even when you didn't see me. When your tears fell in silence, I counted each one. When you cried alone in the dark, I placed my hand over your heart. When you screamed within, "Where are you?" I was right there, silent but full of compassion. You thought that because you were hurting I had turned away, but I was hurting too, not out of helplessness, but out of love. True love always suffers with, and I bore that pain not only to understand, but to redeem. My child, I have not allowed the enemy to touch you without planning redemption for every wound. What was meant to destroy you, I will use for my glory. The place where you were most deeply broken, will become the place from which you reach others most deeply. Your pain will not be wasted. I know you want to forget, to erase the memories. But I did not come to erase, I came to heal. I do not hide you from the truth. I shine the light of truth into the wound, so it no longer controls you. The scar may remain, but it will stand as a testimony of grace, not a proof of failure. You may still remember what was lost, but you will also see what I've added. I will restore every day you thought was wasted, every dream buried, every faith shattered, every good thing you thought would never return. You do not need to be strong to come to me. You only need to be honest. You do not need a perfect prayer. A single sigh is enough. I do not love you less in seasons of brokenness. On the contrary, it is there that I rebuild you. But this time, not by your strength, by my power to restore. And you will see you no longer need to live as one barely surviving, but as one being restored, being sent to bring healing to others. I do not only bring you out of pain, I turn you into a vessel of hope for others in their pain. So today, let me lead you back into stillness, not to escape reality, but to see reality through eyes washed in tears and love. I am still here, and I will remain, until you no longer just know me as the Almighty, but as the near one, the one who walked with you, the one who suffered with you, the one who will restore you, and through you, the one who will write new chapters, more beautiful, brighter, deeper for your life and for those you touch. My beloved, come home, not only to me, but to yourself, the self created by love, wrapped in mercy, called to live, to love, to heal. In me, nothing is wasted. Even your tears will become rivers that water a parched heart somewhere, and your light, though once shattered, will shine boldly as the eternal proof that you once hurt. But I was there, and I still am. Child, I want you to sit, not to explain, not to argue, but to rest in a truth deeper than every judgment you've ever believed. You have lived too long with a distorted image of yourself, an image shaped by wounds, by failure, by accusations, even from your own lips. But today I want you to know you are not the sum of what broke you. You are not the summary of torn chapters. I do not read your life as people do. I do not assign worth based on outcomes. I see the essence I placed in you from the beginning. When you shattered, you thought it was the end. But I never saw the cracks as failure. I saw possibility. In my hands, nothing is useless. Nothing is too late. Nothing is too ruined for me to make something glorious. I do not merely patch old pottery. I refire the clay. I reshape. I infuse it with color. And in the end, what you thought was lost becomes more precious than ever. I do not just heal, I transform. And when I transform, I do it to the roots, to the deepest places in your soul. You once thought you were too damaged, that some parts of you were beyond fixing, beyond saving, beyond redemption. But it is that very place, the one you fear, light touching, that I long to rest my hand of grace upon. I am not repulsed by your wounds. I do not reject your past. On the contrary, I want to enter it, not to accuse, but to change. From ashes, I crown you with beauty. From tears, I birth rivers. From places of loss, I lead you into a harvest of abundance. And child, the beautiful truth is this: I do not heal you just for peace. I heal you to send you with fire, with oil, with testimony. You will become a shelter for souls who once broke too. Not with cold theories, but with a heart that is bled. Not with rigid logic, but with compassion forged through tears. Not with perfection, but with sincerity. What once shamed you will become doors through which others find light. Because in me, not one drop of pain is wasted. But I also know there were things that made you forget my true love. Not your sins, but systems, voices that bore my name, but not my heart. They taught you rules, but forgot to teach nearness. They told you to fix yourself, but didn't lead you to mercy. They laid burdens on you I never placed, and you thought I was like them. You thought my love had to be earned with works, with performance, with perfect obedience, or else I would withdraw, depart. But that is not the gospel. That is religious bondage, not living relationship. The true gospel does not begin with you must, but with I have. I have loved you before you did a single thing. I chose you before you ever chose me. I came to earth, suffered, died, not because you were worthy, but because I wanted you to know you are worth loving. My relationship with you is not built on mood swings, but on eternal covenant. Once you belong to me, nothing can separate you from that love. Not death, not life, not the present, not the future, not any power, not any stain. I do not call you to perform. I did not create you to play your part in rigid religion. I call you to live truly, deeply, freely. I do not want you in church with a forced smile and a broken heart. I want you as you are, even trembling, even confused, even messy. I want relationship, not ritual. Intimacy, not performance. I want your heart, not your polished image. And I know it is not easy to believe after all you've heard. But hear me once more with your whole soul, your whole heart. I am Father, not a gatekeeper counting wrongs, not a harsh judge waiting to punish. I am Father, the one who knows all, understands all, and still never ceases to love. I draw near not to condemn, but to embrace, not to fix you before I love you, but to love you, and from that love to heal. So today, lay down the masks named morality, perfection, worthiness. Step out from the cold confines of religion and into the warmth of relationship. Let me lead you back to your origin, to the place where every question is met with my presence, where every burden is lifted by mercy, where every fear dissolves in the gaze of unchanging love. You don't need to prove you are good. You only need to remain. Remain in me. Remain in the love that has never faded. Remain and remember who you are and who I am, because you are not what you've been through. You are not the fracture of your past. You are not another's judgment. You are the dwelling I have chosen, the warrior I have called to carry fire into a frozen world. You are mine, forever mine, and that love, my child, has never stopped. It has never dimmed, never retreated. It still soothes, still waits for your return, still calls you to rise, to live, to love, to heal, to be holy and deeply who you are, in me, by me, for you are mine. My child, you've listened too long to the distorted voices about me, whispers that I am stern, cold, distant, always measuring your failures. You grew up with the fear of rejection, of being wrong, of not being enough. You feared that if you stumbled once, I would turn away. You trembled as you approached, not because my holiness terrified you, but because you were taught I no longer wanted to see you. But today I want to shatter that false image in your mind. I am not a frigid king seated high on a distant throne waiting for your downfall. I am Father, your Father, and what I have always longed for is not your perfection. It's your heart, nothing more. You believed that to be close to me you had to get everything right, that you had to give enough, pray enough, avoid every mistake, present yourself flawlessly. But my dear one, I am not looking for a performance. I do not require you to play the part of the good child before I smile. I see you in all your chaos, your struggles, your incompleteness, and I still smile. Not because I overlook sin, but because I've never stopped loving the heart that longs to come home. I do not need ritual nor demand appearances. I only need one sincere step. Just open the door and I will come in. You are not an outsider waiting for scraps beneath the table of grace. You are not a beggar of the soul. You are an heir. A place has been prepared for you at my table since before the foundations of the world. Do you think I would cast you out because you are unclean? No, I will wash your feet with my own hands. Do you think I would strip you of your soiled garments to expose you? No, I will clothe you in robes of honor and glory. You do not enter my room as a guilty criminal pleading for pardon. You enter as a beloved child returning home where the door has always stood open, where I have waited on the porch every day. I have torn the veil that stood between us. From my side, nothing remains in the way. Grace does not trickle, it floods, it breaks boundaries, it roars, and it never runs dry. It is not a reward, it is a gift. A gift you cannot earn, cannot repay, but that is given wildly, lavishly. It does not arrive when you do enough. It arrives the moment you admit you can do nothing apart from me. That is the power of grace. It finds the darkest places and illuminates them from within without condition. But I know you've forgotten, not because you are ungrateful, but because you've been surrounded. Lies came early and repeated like breath. They wove into your failures, your glances, the times you felt unaccepted. They whispered that I'm angry, that I've turned my face, that I no longer want anything from you. and you, tired and wounded, began to believe that you must save yourself, that I am too far, that there is no way back. But child, I am not the accuser. That is the work of the enemy. He says you should be ashamed. I say you are worthy of restoration. He says you are ruined. I say you are being remade. He points to your wound and mocks it. I touch it and begin to heal. I do not shame you in your failure. I do not rehearse your past to punish you. I cover you with love. I clothe you anew, not because you are ready, but because I have chosen you. That is mercy. And that mercy is what truly changes you. I am not intimidated by your mess. I do not turn away when you cry in the night feeling like a disaster beyond hope. I do not withdraw when you wrestle with old sins, familiar temptations, or your own disappointment. No, I step in. I step into the cluttered room of your soul, sit down and begin to clean with you, not to scold but to accompany, not to lecture coldly, but to embrace, soothe, and restore. I am your father, and a good father does not abandon his child when they are lost, especially when that child knows they need to come home. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you because you are mine. And when you are weak, I draw closer. When you fall, I hold tighter. When you can't find the words, I listen to the voice of your heart. When you can't even pray, I intercede for you. When you can't believe in my love, I patiently prove it day by day, moment by moment, heartbeat by heartbeat. My beloved child, though the years may have blurred your memories, though life has pulled you far from your roots, one thing has never changed: the quiet yet unerasable presence of me planted in your soul from the very beginning. I never left. I never stepped back. Even when you turned your face, I watched. When you were lost in 1,000 choices, I held on to one certainty: you are mine. Even as lies scream in your ears, even as fear hisses through the cracks in your heart, even as pain convinces you that you'll never stand again, still there is a light inside you, subtle, steady, unyielding, not your own will, not blind optimism. It is my flame, the light that cannot be extinguished because it comes from eternity, from my very nature unchanging. It is the light that kept you breathing through the darkest nights, that made you take one more step when you thought you had no reason left. You thought you imagined it. You thought the stirring in your heart was just a vague longing. But child, the whisper in stillness, the ache for something more, that was me calling. The hollow ache when dreams come true but still leave you wanting, that is heaven echoing in your soul. The yearning for a place that truly feels like home, that is my voice. The hunger for a love no earthly thing can satisfy, that is my reminder that only in me will you be made whole. I never let you completely forget me, nor did I let you forget yourself. In moments where everything seemed cold, I kept a spark burning in your heart. No one saw it, not even you, but I did. I saw it glowing under the ashes of old dreams, under unhealed wounds, under unspoken failures. And now, right now, I am breathing life into that spark. I don't come with roaring wind or blazing fire. I come gently like your own breath. I don't demand that you rise in your own strength. I kneel where you are and take your hand. I don't wake you with shouting. I wake you with my presence. A presence warm, strong, patient, and full of love. I don't want you to become someone new. I want you to return to the one I created, woven in love, marked with my image, wrapped in eternal purpose. You are not the product of society's expectations. You are not the result of failure or chance. You are not a title, a past, a status, or any fleeting label the world gave you. No, you are the one I chose before the world knew your name. You are a reflection of my glory. You are my declaration that love still triumphs in a broken world. And what I began in you, I will complete. Yes, trials will come. Old voices will try to rise. Fear may still linger at the edges of your soul. But now you carry within you an unquenchable awareness that you are mine, not as a theory, not as dead theology, but as a living vision that in me you are whole, that no matter what changes outside your name in me remains unchanged, that you carry an eternal flame, one that will light the path when the world grows dark. And when you stumble, because you will, I am not surprised nor disheartened. I do not cast you aside for being weak. Instead, I bend down, lift you up, and whisper, "Rise again, my beloved. I am still here. You will never fall outside my reach, and every time you rise, it is not in your strength but in mine. Every step you take forward is powered by my spirit at work in you. You are not called to be perfect, you are called to remain. To remain in me, rooted in truth, breathing love, walking in grace. Not to become more worthy, but to remember that you have always been loved. Even when you forget, I remember. Even when you walk away, I wait. Even when all within you is silent, I still sing my song over your soul. My beloved child, each day that you draw breath upon this earth is a day heaven still watches, still waits, still hopes in you. You do not live in vain. You are not here as one who merely passes through the lives of others, leaving no trace. No, my beloved, you are life sent forth, not by accident, not by chance, but by my eternal design. Every moment you walk this soil is another chapter in the story of grace. I myself am writing through you. Perhaps when you look at yourself, you see one who has stumbled, who has been wounded, who has fallen into shadows. Perhaps you think you are merely trying to mend what was torn, merely surviving. But what I see in you far surpasses what you see in yourself. You are not simply one in recovery. You are living proof of grace, a witness to unfailing love, a sign of my strength made perfect in weakness. You are the embodiment of a God who makes all things new. Where the world declares something ruined beyond repair, I step in and say I can. Where men see no hope, I sow new hope. Where hearts are hardened like stone, I remove the stone and give a heart that feels, that loves, that beats with life. And I have done this in you. Now each step you take is not merely the step of one reclaiming life, it is the step of a witness. Wherever you go, into your home, among friends, at your work, even among strangers, you carry a message that I live, that I act, that I still heal and restore. You are a living letter, not written with ink but with my spirit, not engraved on stone but inscribed upon human hearts. Every word you speak in love, tempered by mercy, learned in pain, becomes a gentle breeze that soothes the broken. Every small act, an attentive glance, a tender touch, a silent embrace can unlock doors long shut, and none of this flows from your own skill or strength, but from my presence overflowing through you. You are light, but not the light of this world's lamps. The light you bear is not lit by effort or painted by men's praise. It is the radiance of my glory burning in your soul, a light no trial can extinguish, no judgment can dim, no wound can eclipse. It is a flame kindled in your tears, upon your knees, in the nights you would not let go of. My hand in the days you chose to love, though nothing was returned. You are my flame-bearing fire that does not die. Where you stand, hope rises. Where you speak truth in love, new life begins. Where you are silent yet remain in my presence, peace spreads. Not because you strive to be strong, but because you have allowed me to live in you. And since you have died to self, I now live fully in you. Perhaps you have wondered if your life has meaning. Perhaps you have compared yourself with others, asking why you do not bear the great achievements or loud triumphs they boast. But hear me, the greatest marks are not in applause or numbers, but in quiet transformations you may never see. A word you speak may keep someone alive through the night. A small kindness may begin a healing that lasts for generations. You need not know it all, I know. I remember. I bring forth the fruit. Even now I am writing that story in you, not only for your sake, but for those you touch with light, with love, with the new life I have given you. You are not the product of failure, but the proof of victory. Not merely a survivor, but a bearer of life. Not only one forgiven, but one sent. My beloved, I call you ray of light, carrier of grace, keeper of hope. Heaven rejoices in each day you live, not because I need you to accomplish my work, but because I delight to see you become the living image of love in a world hungry for truth. Therefore, never despise the worth of a single faithful day. Do not think your existence is mere repetition of weary hours. Every breath you take, every step you walk, every act of love you release moves heaven itself. I know your name. I call you not by role, but by your true identity in me, bearer of light. Witness of life, my child, my companion, the fragrance of grace in the world, my beloved child. You were not formed to vanish into the sea of humanity, to become a shadow swallowed by noisy footsteps, unnoticed and unseen. No, you were made to shine, to be a torch blazing in the night, to stand as the reminder that darkness never has the final word. You are the one I have called out from the crowd, not to boast, not to exalt yourself, but to become a signpost for the wandering, a beacon for those staggering among many paths. You are the lighthouse I have set upon the rock in the midst of the ocean. The waves may pound, the winds may howl, the fog may thicken, yet the flame does not go out. And because of it, the drifting vessels, the weary sailors, the souls who thought hope was lost, will find their course again. You do not need to run everywhere, striving to save. Simply stand, hold fast the light I have placed within you, and that light will shine, will call, will lead those who need it. You are proof that I have never abandoned this world. Every time you open your arms to embrace the suffering, every time you bend to hear the cry of the forgotten, you become the echo of my whisper in their hearts. You are still loved. You mirror my heart to them, showing they are not alone, that there is still a home to return to. I have set the very rhythm of my heart within your chest. Do not call it a small thing, for every beat carries eternity. Each pulse does not only sustain your life, but resounds as a holy, summons a call to wandering souls. Come home, return to the place where you truly belong. And when you love, when you forgive, when you endure, for truth, that call rings louder, reaching farther, piercing walls that human hearts have built around themselves. The more you remain in my love, the brighter and fiercer the light you bear. Do not think only grand deeds reveal me through you. No, the daily choices of faithfulness, the small but steadfast decisions are what lift the lamp high. Each time you choose honesty when falsehood is easier. Each time you choose love when it is simpler to close your heart. Each time you choose patience when anger begs to erupt, that is when your flame rises and others see something in you. Beyond human strength. Child, you were not healed only to feel safe for yourself. I did not draw you out of the abyss for you to sit idly on the shore. I healed you so that you would be living proof that healing is real, that love restores, that what was broken can be rebuilt more beautiful than before. You are the vessel through which I touch other wounds, dry other tears, rebuild other lives. You who know what it is to be shattered are the very one I entrust to carry healing to the world. Remember, the broken do not need eloquent speeches, they need a witness. They must look at you and see. If God could heal you, then He can heal me too. They must feel in your embrace a real warmth, hear in your words a living power, see in your eyes a true light. And all this does not flow from you, but because you have allowed me to rewrite your story with my love. You are the staff of comfort I place in the hands of the weary. You are the cool water I pour out to refresh the barren ground. You are the bridge I raise to join severed hearts back to life. Do not fear your own cracks or scars, those very places make you authentic, make you approachable to those who cry for help. I do not need your perfection by human measure. I need your truthfulness. I need your openness for my life to flow through you. You were created to guide, to testify to the light, to remind the world that I am still at work, that darkness never triumphs. And as you continue to live in truth, as you remain in my love, you will not only help others find faith again, but remind them of their true identity, that they too are my children, that they too are loved, that they too carry light within them. Beloved child, you do not carry merely a story of healing. You carry a promise for all humanity that grace is real, that new life is real, that love never fails. And each time you rise after falling, each time you choose hope over despair, each time you choose love over resentment, the world gains another testimony, another sign, another blazing ray that I am alive and reigning. You were not made to dissolve, but to stand out, not for self, but for the light I placed within you. So stand firm, keep walking, keep shining. For there are still many souls searching for their lighthouse, and I have chosen you to be that flame. My beloved child, do not let your heart be deceived into thinking that what you are doing now, the small choices you are faithfully holding onto, are meaningless. I tell you, not a single step you take is wasted. Not a single tear shed in faithfulness is ever in vain. Do not belittle the path you walk, for every step forward, every seemingly silent decision creates a resonance heard in heaven itself, and it makes the darkness tremble. You think forgiving yourself is just a small matter of the soul, a personal choice. But I tell you, each time you forgive yourself, each time you choose to rise, instead of sitting still in regret, you are breaking chains the enemy longs to bind around you. The accusations he plants lose their grip because you choose to believe my word over his lies. What you thought was a small step is in truth a mighty victory in the unseen realm. It opens new space for my breath of life, and through that you yourself become a new wellspring of healing for others. Do not underestimate your choice to love even in the moments of rejection. When your human heart opens to love but is wounded by coldness or betrayal, you may think your love has fallen into emptiness. But I tell you, not a single seed of love sown fails to bring forth life. Every time you love in rejection, in silence, in loss, that is the moment my love shines most clearly. For true love does not depend on the response. It exists because of its source, and that source is me. Remember this: what you call small, what you call hidden, are the sharp spears piercing the invisible walls the enemy has built around human hearts. Those walls may bear the names of bitterness, shame, resentment, or despair. But when you forgive, the wall cracks. When you choose love, the wall trembles. When you stand in truth, the wall collapses, and through the ruins light floods in, so that those imprisoned in darkness can see freedom. I am doing my greatest work through what seems small in your life. You may expect grand miracles, dazzling transformations easily seen by human eyes. But my child, believe that it is the quiet, faithful moments that form the most enduring miracles. A miracle is not always the storm silenced or the mountain moved. Sometimes the miracle is a heart once shattered being made whole, a soul once wounded, learning to love again, a person once buried in regret, now smiling with hope. And you, yes, you are such a miracle. You do not need noise to prove anything. You do not need to shout loudly for the world to know what you believe. Simply by living, by being fully present in truth, you are a declaration more powerful than any sermon. The world is crowded with empty words, but it longs to see a life that truly embodies what it claims to believe. And you, my child, you are the living testimony that I am here, that I am working, that my love never fails. You are a living sermon, a testimony without words, yet louder than the greatest speech. I do not write my words on paper or stone, but upon your very life. Each time you forgive, each time you rise, each time you love, those holy lines are revealed for heaven and earth to read. You are my love letter to humanity, not written in lofty language or eloquent arguments, but in the truth of one who was once broken and now restored by grace. You do not even realize how your very presence touches hearts. A look of forgiveness, a humble smile, a hand stretched out when no one else would draw near. All of these are the language of heaven, and you are its voice. Do not think you need great accomplishments for your life to matter. Do not think only grand deeds are worthy. I look to the heart, and from that heart even the smallest act is transformed into a miracle. My beloved, I delight more in your authenticity than in anything else. When you allow me to shine through your cracks, you become a living witness that I am the restorer, the recreator, the one who turns ruin into glory. Every wound healed in you is a line in the love letter I am sending to this world. And as the world reads it through you, it will know I still love, I still save, I am still with them. So do not despise yourself. Do not think that because you are not perfect, not great, not loud, you have no worth. Your value lies in the fact that you belong to me, and that you are letting me write the story of life upon you. Walk on, keep forgiving, keep loving, keep standing in truth. For through every step, every tear, every hidden decision, I am changing the world, my beloved child. So now stand up, not with shoulders weighed down by burdens, not with a heart weary from striving to prove your worth, but rise with the fire of truth blazing within you. You are the child of the Most High. This is not a title you must wait to earn one day, nor a reward given only when you are worthy. No, my child, it is here now, in this very breath you draw, you already are. You have been sealed by my love, named in eternity. This truth does not rest on how you feel today. nor on the acceptance or rejection of men, but on my very nature, and my nature never changes. You are not the product of chance, nor the result of mistake. You were formed by everlasting love, a love that thought through every detail of you before the foundations of the universe were laid. Nothing in you is random. Every feature of your face, every beat of your heart, every gift, every hidden longing, each was woven by my hand with purpose and meaning. Do not let the world deceive you into thinking your existence is meaningless. You are not a drifting speck of dust. You are a masterpiece in the hands of the Creator, called forth from nothingness by the power of my word. You were created to love. This is not a temporary function nor a mere reaction of emotion. Love is not just an act you choose when convenient. It is your very nature, for you were made in my image, and I am love. When you love, you are being truest to yourself. When you open your heart to another, even without return, you are walking in the purpose I engraved within your soul. Do not think love is weakness, for only the strongest hearts dare to give without fear of being wounded. Love is the greatest strength, for it flows from my essence, and when you love, you are like me. And just as you were made to love, you were also made to receive love. You were not created to live in isolation, dryness, or to claw for acceptance in human eyes. You were created to live in the overflow of my love, a love without conditions, not measured by achievements, never withdrawn when you stumble. I love you not because you have done enough, but because you are mine. My love for you did not begin with your works, but with your very being. And my grace is always greater than your weakness, always covering your lack, always lifting you when you fall. O child, nothing in you is lacking. Do not heed the whisper of darkness when it tells you that you are not enough, that you are unworthy, that you must try harder to deserve love. Those are lies. The spiritual reality is already sealed upon you. I have placed within you abundance. Not a flicker of light, but a flame that cannot be extinguished, for it comes from me, the light. Not a fleeting breath of life, but eternal life overflowing within you, for I have given you forever. Not fragments of grace, but my wholeness itself. This abundance is not for you alone, but to flow outward, as a river refreshing dry lands around you. I have placed within you an abundance of light, that you might guide the lost. I have placed within you an abundance of love, that you might embrace the brokenhearted. I have placed within you an abundance of life, that you might awaken hope in souls who believe all is over. Do not measure yourself by your limits, for what I have placed in you far surpasses what you can imagine. When you rise with this truth blazing in your heart, all heaven rejoices, for you have come to know who you are, and once you know who you are, the enemy can no longer steal your identity. He may sow doubt, but you stand on the foundation. He may test, but you carry the strength. He may seek to pull you down, but you know you were created to stand firm in my abundance. Believe this, my child. You do not need to chase what the world calls fullness, for you are already abundant. You do not need to prove yourself, for your worth cannot be measured by human standards. You do not need to search outside for what I have already placed within. Rise, live, walk with unshakable certainty. You are the child of the Most High, and that is enough. My beloved child, even if the world turns its face away, even when circumstances make you feel drained, even when whispers of doubt creep in like a cold mist to cover your heart, hear this from me, you are never forgotten. Not one moment of your life escapes my gaze. Not one tear you shed falls without me gathering it. Not one beat of your heart goes unheard by me. I do not only see, I do not only know, I am present within every breath you take to remind you of my love for you. A love unshakable, unchanging, untouched by the shifting tides of this world. I am the one who reminds you not only once when you cry out, but continuously, faithfully, patiently, like the waves that never cease breaking on the shore. When your mind grows weary and can no longer think, when your heart collapses under the weight of accusations, I, myself, draw near to whisper, you are still loved, you still belong to me. You think I only speak in fervent prayers, in crowded gatherings, and powerful sermons? No, my child. I speak to you even in the simplest, most ordinary places, whenever your heart opens, even if only a little. I will will speak to you in your sleep when your mind ceases striving, when the burdens of the day finally settle. Even in dreams that seem fragmented, I can plant images, echoes that soften your heart and remind you of my presence. Do not dismiss such dreams as meaningless, for I can use even what seems random to become comfort for your soul. And in the night, when every noise of the world grows still, my voice resounds most clearly within you. I will also whisper to you at dawn, when the first light of day slips through the mist, when the morning breeze brushes your skin like a gentle caress. In that moment, you may feel a peace you cannot explain, a soft invitation that comes from no one but me. When you sit by the window and watch the sunlight touch the curtain, what seems ordinary is in truth my presence speaking tenderly. My child, I am here. This day does not begin with worry, but with me. I am present in the quiet places where no many words are needed, no rituals required, only a heart slightly open. Do not think you must pray long prayers or read many lines before you hear me. Sometimes it is in the silence, in the still moment when you speak nothing, think nothing, simply sit in stillness, that I reach you most deeply. My presence is not confined to ritual, nor enclosed in walls, nor dependent on your worthiness. It is a constant flow, always there, ready to pour in the moment your heart opens. I know there are times you feel lost, as though I have withdrawn, yet it is then that I am closer than ever. Like the sun hidden by clouds, my light remains. My warmth never ceases, only waiting for the sky to clear. Do not let fleeting feelings deceive you into thinking I am absent, for I have promised I will never leave you nor forsake you. My reminders of love never cease. And I remind you not only to comfort you, but to shape you. Each whisper I plant is a seed rooting deeper every day, making you a tree unshaken. When you are discouraged, my word flows like fresh water to quench your thirst. When you tremble, my word becomes strong arms lifting you up. When you want to give up, my word leans close to say, do not stop, my beloved. I am walking with you. Even when you do not seek me, I seek you. When you do not call my name, I still call yours. When you feel invisible to the world, I still see you and draw you forth. When all else seems indifferent, I am the one whose eyes watch, whose ears incline, whose heart leans close to yours. And in every ordinary breath of life, the song of a bird, the fragrance of a flower, the glow of the moonlight, I can use them all to whisper, you are still mine. So do not fear being abandoned. Do not imagine my presence as some far-off idea. It is as near as your own breath, as certain as the daylight, as gentle as the wind. And when you open your heart, you will see I have never ceased to remind you that you are loved, chosen, held, and never forgotten. My beloved child, listen to this and let it weave itself into every thread of your soul. I am writing my love upon every day of your life, not with marks that fade, not with ink that washes away in the rain, but with the permanence of eternal providence. My love is not only present in the moments you easily recognize, but also in the details you think are small, meaningless, or invisible, for there is never a moment of your life untouched by the inscription of my love. I write my love in the times you were covered and did not know it. There were moments you thought things just went smoothly, but it was I arranging the steps to shield you from snares unseen. There were moments you thought you escaped by chance or luck, but it was I, the unseen hand, the steadfast arm, the sheltering wing keeping the darkness from reaching you. Every trembling step, every confident stride, all were within the circle of my protection. I write my love in the doors I closed, even when you cried, protested, or doubted. You thought I rejected you, that I had abandoned you, but truly I was keeping you from a dead end. Some paths looked bright but ended in a pit. Some relationships looked like salvation but were only chains. I shut those doors not to wound you, but to guard your soul from destruction. In time you will learn not everything you desire is good for you, and true love does not indulge, it protects. I write my love in the people I have placed in your life. They cannot fill the space, steady shoulder to lean on when you are weary. Every face I send, every hand I place beside you, they are the strokes of my pen composing the song of my love for you. My love cannot be confused, for it is unlike anything the world gives. It does not shift with human moods. It is not bound by conditions or achievements. It does not diminish when you stumble, nor vanish when you forget to pray. Once sown into your heart, my love saturates every detail, every rhythm, every season of your life. It is like breath. You do not always notice it, but it sustains you. It is like your heartbeat, silent, faithful, never ceasing. It is like the sun, even when clouds cover its light, remains never gone. And again, when you forget, I will reveal it anew as tenderly as the first time. I will whisper to you at sunrise through the gentle breeze at your window. I will remind you in dreams through images you call random, but which carry my message. I will comfort you in the quiet when you ask for little, but your heart opens and I quietly enter. I never grow weary of reminding you that you are loved. Remember this, I am with you, not as a distant concept, but as a living reality. I do not merely watch from afar, I am within you. The breath you inhale, the step you take, the sight your eyes behold, all bear the mark of my presence. I never stand against you, but always with you. When the world turns away, I am still here. When you feel weak, I am still here. When other voices make you doubt, I am still here. And never, never will I leave you. Carry this unshakable certainty within your heart. You are never forgotten, never abandoned, never left behind. Even if the world ignores the light within you, I have seen it from the beginning. I saw you when you chose love instead of hatred. I saw you when you chose to stand firm instead of compromise. I saw you even when you sat silently in the darkness with barely any strength left, whispering, Lord, I belong to you. You need not shout to be heard, for even your faintest sigh reaches my throne. Even if others fail to value you, I still treasure you. Your worth is not measured by human praise or recognition, but by the choice I made before time began. I chose you. When I call you by name, all of heaven bears witness. You are not an accident, nor a substitute for someone else. You are my deliberate intention, the joy I have cherished. Others may overlook you, but I never will. They may forget you, but I never do. They may change, but I do not. Even when you do not understand yourself, your wounds, your longings, your limits, I already know. You look in the mirror and see weaknesses, flaws, things you wish you could change, but I see differently. I see the larger canvas where cracks in a clay jar do not make it useless, but become the very places where the brightest light shines through. I do not recoil from your complexity. I am not afraid of your hidden corners. I do not withdraw my love because you are not yet complete. I do not retreat. I do not change my mind. I do not withdraw my promise. When I said you are mine, those words were not written on sand for the wind to erase, but carved on everlasting stone. You may tremble, you may wander, you may fall, but I will not change. My word cannot be worn down by time, reshaped by circumstance, or nullified by your mistakes. I have called you mine, and you are mine forever. You do not walk alone. Every step you take on this earth, the echo of my steps resounds beside you. You think you are alone, but if you listen, you will hear the gentle rhythm of my companionship. When you are weary, I do not stand at a distance. I stoop down and lift you. When you fall, I do not wait for you to rise by yourself. I come near, gather you into my arms, wipe away the dust, and say, keep going. My beloved, I am still here. Every prayer you whisper, even when so faint it barely escapes your lips, is cradled in my deep compassion. Do not think only eloquent or passionate prayers move my heart. Even a simple breath of Lord, I'm so tired is enough to stir heaven. I listen not only to respond, but to walk with you, to share in your burden, to remind you that you are never alone on the weary road. You are not forsaken, you are not abandoned, you are not forgotten. This is not empty encouragement, it is eternal truth. Even if everyone else leaves you, I remain. Even if you lose everything, I will never lose you. Even if you have nothing left to hold on to, you still have me, and I am the unshakable foundation. My child, you are mine, not someday in the distant future, but here and now. This identity does not rest on your feelings, nor on the world's perception. It rests on the truth I have spoken, and my word does not fail. You are my child, loved, chosen, called, and guarded. And I, yes, I am the one who lives forever, who loves unchangingly, who is ever present. Today I am with you. In every detail, from the breath of morning to the final beat of the day, I am present. Tomorrow, I am with you. As you step into the unknown, as you face trials you have never known, I will already be there, never leaving. And forever I am with you in a kingdom unshakable, in a love unfading, in a covenant that cannot be undone. So walk on with this certainty burning bright in your heart. You are not forgotten, not abandoned, not left behind. You belong to me. And I, the living one, the loving one, the ever-present one, will never leave you alone today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Almighty God, loving Father of my soul, today I come before you, unhidden, no longer pretending to be strong. I offer you my heart, a heart once shattered, once distorted by pain, but now I long for it to be reshaped by your very hands. Wipe away every false identity that the world and fear have bound me in for so long. Remind me that I was created in love for glory and never to be forgotten. Draw me into the stillness that I may hear again your whisper and find myself anew in the gaze of my Father. O Lord of gentle presence, I do not ask for a miracle that shakes the heavens. I only need to know you are here right now in this room, in my heart. I have run for so long, exhausted from trying to prove my worth. But today I lay down every facade. Let me know that simply being in you I am enough. Restore in me the voice, the life, and the joy that past wounds have stolen. Let your silence be the place where I am born again. Living God who understands every unspoken pain, I offer you not only what is beautiful in me, but also the things I am ashamed of, the hidden corners I've kept concealed. Step into them not to condemn, but to shine and heal. Turn every wound into a blossom, every fall into a stepping stone for new rising. Shape me again by your mercy, raise me up by the breath of your Spirit. I no longer wish to live in fear. I choose to follow the call of life. Merciful God, I thank you because you see not only what I've done, but who I can become. I thank you that when others judge, you forgive. When I had not yet called out, you were already searching. When I lost my way, you did not scold, you came looking. I thank you for a love that asks for no conditions and never runs dry. Though I am not yet perfect, you call me enough. Though I have doubted, you still believe in what you've planted within me. Faithful one, I praise you, because even though everything else may change, you remain true to your word. I once saw myself as a burden, but you called me your delight. I once thought I was too late, but you told me I arrived right on time. Thank you for not only giving me a new chance, but also a new identity. I praise you because your restoration reaches beyond the surface. It transforms the very core of my being. Thank you that when everything falls apart, you don't just rebuild me as I was, you recreate me anew in your glory. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.